Mazuma TV back in the building, man. What's going on, y'all? Shout out to Mazuma Nation. Shout out to the Mazuma Mob. We in the building as always, man. I hope everybody's having a blessed, beautiful, positive, productive weekend. I'm just chilling at the crib right now, man. Just enjoying my day off. Back at y'all with some more boxing talk. On the road to 2K, man. We about to hit that 1900 mark in due time. So shout out to the Nation and the Mob for making this possible. All right, y'all. Let's talk about y'all boy, man. Richardson Hitchins, man. He just had his performance last night against Gustavo Lamos on the DAZN card under Matchroom Boxing, of course. But before I get into that, man, shout out to Diego Pacheco, somebody I'm really high on. Going the distance for the first time in a 10-round bout, you know what I mean? And he won convincingly, you know what I mean? So shout out to Diego Pacheco. I really hope that he gets a meaningful fight soon to really prove how good he is and what he contributes to the super middleweight division. But Richardson Hitchins, man, fought Gustavo Lamos. And I wasn't able to watch it last night because I was at the Golden Gloves. And, you know, I just went home and just fell asleep shortly afterwards. So I wasn't able to watch it. But I was able to tune in this morning and really just see what had transpired throughout the fight. And I thought it was a pretty competitive fight, man. And really dissecting it and, you know, going by round, this was a close competitive fight, man. You know what I mean? If people feel like Richardson Hitchins won, I mean, they justified in believing so because, you know, Richardson Hitchins, he put on a solid performance of boxing. You know what I mean? So he showcased a performance where he was hitting and not getting hit, which I completely understand. You know what I mean? And that could be a strong case as to why you may believe that he won the fight. However, Gustavo Lamos also has a case. You know, he was applying pressure the entire time. You know, it looked like he had Richardson Hitchins uncomfortable throughout the majority of the fight. And it looked like he even stunned Richardson Hitchins and probably even hurt him, in all honesty. You know what I mean? Only Richardson Hitchins knows at the end of the day, but from the outside looking in, it looked like he was pretty disturbed and looked like that power is really affecting him. You know what I mean? That's just my personal opinion, but what I want to speak about is his overall performance. And I thought that Richardson Hitchins, you know, he boxed. You know, he has some great boxing ability. He's an intelligent fighter, a good thinker in the ring. However, there is a lot of flaws that I'm seeing in Richardson Hitchins that could really cost him at an elite level. You know what I mean? Now, Richardson Hitchins was somebody who was just, you know, keeping his head low and just continuing to work, you know, just staying humble for the most part, then maybe we wouldn't really be criticizing him this much. But based off of a lot of the statements that he has said, man, whether it's disrespecting Devin Haney or calling out the top champions and acting like he's that guy in the division, just speaking from a real arrogant point of view, you know what I mean, acting like he's above certain fighters and shit like that, then of course he's going to be bashed as a result of that. You know what I'm saying? So I thought that he did a lot of excessive holding, in all honesty, you know, and the reason why I really feel like it was bad because there were several opportunities where I feel like Richardson Hitchins could have, you know, capitalized off of Gustavo's mistakes. You know what I mean? I thought that Gustavo was getting reckless at points, and I thought that Richardson Hitchins could have either made him pay for it or like possibly even you just make him overall pay for it. You know what I mean? He could have definitely used some more of those opportunities that he had to really showcase his offense, but it just seemed like he was real respectful of the dude. You know what I mean? And if Richardson Hitchins was the type to like clinch and then work on the inside and play some nice body shots and, you know, just showcase a good inside performance, that I really wouldn't have a problem with it. But, you know, with the excessive holding and really doing nothing in the course of holding the dude, then, you know, that's where I have a problem. You know, there's plenty of things that you could do other than holding an opponent. You know what I mean? If you're in top shape, like you claim to be Richardson Hitchins, then you could definitely showcase some feints that could shock Gustavo's defense, freeze him up a little bit. You could be first, you know what I mean? So he's not able to get his offense off. You could just make that a repetitive theme throughout the course of those 12 rounds, just being first. And if you end up being second, then you should be able to make the adjustments necessary to run him into some shots, you know, be a counterpuncher. You know what I'm saying? So there was several different solutions that he could have went through, but he just chose to hold the majority of the time. And I think that's why he's facing a lot of criticism as of right now, because he showed a lot of being uncomfortable. You know what I mean? A lot of uncomfortability. I don't even know if that's a word, but he showed to be uncomfortable throughout the course of a fight against a pressure fighter. You know what I'm saying? Now, really like analyzing his performance and seeing the holes that he has, I don't really think that Richardson Hitchins is ready for the elite level. I'm not going to lie to you. I do think that he needs a few more fights. You know, I think he needs to go back to the lab and really tune up some things. You know what I mean? Because if you're having trouble with pressure fighters, you're going to have trouble with at least two of the world champions that are in the 140-pound division right now. You know what I mean? One of them is Isaac Cruz, who applies nothing but pressure and throws nothing but bombs. And then we also got Subriel Matias, who's very similar in that way. You know, search and destroy. He walking to you, and he's looking to dominate. You know what I mean? And he's not discouraged by your offense or anything like that. And he's coming to knock you out, trying to really hurt you, put you in the hospital. You know what I mean? That's something that he says all the time, that he wants to put guys in the hospital. So with that being known, I don't know, based off of his last performance against Gustavo Lamos, if Richardson Hitchins is able to weather that storm against these elite guys. You know what I mean? That's just my personal opinion. You know what I mean? Anybody else is free to disagree with what I'm saying or may have a different opinion. However, we really can't debate the fact that this man had a lot of trouble in there last night. This was a competitive bout. This could have went either way. You know what I'm saying? The commentators, I mean, a lot of people were saying that they were biased, but at the end of the day, they were seeing some things that they were keeping it a buck in certain aspects, man. There were some things that I disagree with, but there were some things that they also said that I agree with as well. So with that being known, man, it's like if you struggling with somebody like Gustavo Lamos, who's not a world champion and isn't even really a top caliber 140 amongst all the other guys right now, then you're gonna have trouble when it comes to guys like Subriel Matias, who just signed to the same promotional company as you and happens to be on the same network as you. You see what I mean? Subriel Matias is levels above Gustavo Lamos. I could tell you that right away. I think that his conditioning is a lot better because Gustavo Lamos looked like he took a few rounds off throughout the course of the fight, which may have hindered his ability to get the W that night. You see what I mean? But Subriel Matias isn't somebody who takes rounds off. If anything, he gets stronger as the rounds go on. So before Richardson Hitchins really jumps into the mix with these top guys, I really think that he needs to make those adjustments necessary because he's showing a little bit of weakness in terms of going up against pressure fighters. We seen it way back when he sparred Rolly Romero. He was getting punched on by Rolly, and Rolly is a come-forward, reckless pressure fighter as well. You know what I mean? So we really can't ignore that. And it doesn't look like anything has really changed in Hitchins' ability since then. You know what I mean? It looks like he crumbles under pressure. That's just what I've noticed. But I could be wrong. Maybe it was just a mediocre performance from him. Maybe he's capable of doing much more or even going up against a similar pressure fighter and putting on a more dominant performance. But regardless, I think that at this point in time, I think that Subriel Matias will stop Richardson Hitchins badly. You know what I mean? I think Hitchins will have some success in the beginning, but as Subriel continues to push the action, go forward and let his hands go and play some mean body shots, I really see Richardson Hitchins getting up out of there before the late rounds. You know what I mean? That's just what I personally believe. I don't know if Richardson Hitchins has the power necessary to get Subriel's respect. I've seen Subriel get cracked by some guys with some great power, whether we talking about Ergashev, you know what I mean, Jukenbayev, you know what I mean? He's been hit by solid dudes and did not go anywhere and didn't even look discouraged. Even in that one loss that he had where he had gotten rocked, he still continued to press forward. So it's going to take a master class of boxing in order to defeat somebody like Subriel. And I don't know, based off of his last performance, if Richardson Hitchins is able to formulate the recipe necessary to defeat Subriel Matias. You know what I mean? So he needs to go back to the drawing board. He needs to keep putting himself in uncomfortable situations so he knows how to deal with pressure fighters, because if he isn't learning that anytime soon, then he's not going to be able to pick up that IBF world title. It's not like he's really enthusiastic or optimistic about facing Subriel anyways, but if that opportunity presents itself and there's no other options, then he really has to find a way to be comfortable with being uncomfortable, if you know what I'm saying. But that's just my brief analysis on Richardson Hitchins and his performance against Gustavo Lamos. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this here, man. This Mazuma TV. Thank you very much for tuning in. I'm out of here, man. Peace.